That's me, sleeping with my teddy bear in my hand, like every other 29-year-old man. I've spent the last few days looking at rust, paint chipping, and metal corrosion. People must have thought I was crazy when they saw me staring at the rusted out spots on cars. You see, I just painted the chassis of the truck, and it's now time to weather it to make it look more realistic. But then I thought to myself, what better place to find beautiful rusted out trucks than on the Hamiltonville Farm YouTube channel.
I just did a childish thing. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Man, this guy's laugh never gets old. Wagwan, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching, thank you for stopping by again. Your time means a lot to me. So as you can see, the chassis of the truck is done, it's painted, it's ready to be weathered. So let's go. Okay, so first I'm going to be using this gray acrylic paint. I'm going to mix it with 1 part paint to like 3 parts water. And then I'm going to brush it all over the chassis to give the paint a faded look with my nail art brushes that I bought on Temu. This is just about the same consistency as milk or hot chocolate, and like I said, I'm just going to brush it all over in order to simulate faded paint and watermarks as I go along. But I must say that I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm learning as I go. As a matter of fact, I'm learning from watching other people's YouTube videos. And here it is, all done. It actually turned out way better than I thought it would. I could have stopped here if I wanted to, and just added a few rust spots here and there. But no, somebody had to go ahead and try to be creative. Well, let's go. YouTube is all about making content. Now, I'm just going to take a little piece of magic eraser sponge and clean it up just a little bit. I'm pretty sure that any piece of high density sponge will work just fine. Yellow should have been the color that I used to paint the shock absorbers, but I didn't have any yellow at the time of recording. And by the way, I got these acrylic paints at Michael's for $1 a piece. I've actually been a visual artist for a very long time. I've been drawing and painting since I was a little kid. I've been making little cars and trucks for a very long time, but I've never had to do any weathering like I'm doing right now. And that is why I said I don't know what I'm doing. You know, it's just like baking a cake. You add the flour, the eggs, the tomato, the onions, I guess. Yeah, a delicious birthday cake. After I did the little gray spots on the shock absorbers, I went over it with some tan paint, just to give it some variation, just to make it look old and worn out. And now this is my attempt to make a dark rust color, and this is just some dark brown and dark gray mixed together. And then I applied it on various edges of the chassis, edges that are particularly vulnerable to scratches and chipping on the chassis of a truck, using several pictures as references. But as soon as I started applying the color, I just didn't feel as if I was doing it right. I just did not like the outcome, and I knew that I was going to need some more practice. When it comes to adding chips on a model, I feel like the best way to convey these chips is by paint subtraction. But if you're experienced enough, you can definitely produce some great chips with paint addition methods. I just did not like how this was turning out at all, and this was when I knew that I had to do something to produce better results. I then decided to take the chassis into the storeroom, where ironically there's a lot more light than what I have in this room, so that I could use a piece of rusted steel that I have in the corner for reference. Pictures are great, but when you have something physically in front of you, that's even better. It was too much of a hassle to take the camera with me. But what I did, I took what I saw on the piece of steel and I copied it onto the chassis while making it look like a truck chassis, of course. And after a few attempts, I got results that I was comfortable with. It turned out that I just needed a little more practice and I just needed to be a little more patient. It was now looking a little bit better, and what I did to achieve these results wasn't much different from what I was doing before. I used golden brown to simulate scratches and chips that were exposed to dirt. And just to clarify, these are all acrylic paints. The base black paint, that's enamel from a rattle can. I'm just here trying to spread the chips and scratch. I almost said chips and crackers. I'm just trying to spread the chips and scratches out randomly. I know you can't really see much of what I'm doing, but I'm just trying to simulate speckles of dirt at the base of the air tanks with my $15 Temu airbrush. Temu, same thing. Now, when you look at the bumper, you realize that the paint is actually chipped around the bolts. And that is because after I painted the bumper, I used MEK to strip the paint off to glue the bolts on. And just like that, I made the perfect chips. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. My aim is to cover all the chipped out spots with the paint that I made for the dark rust. And also use the same color to make a few superficial chips here and there. The fuel tank is not as refined as I want it to be, but like I said, I'm still learning. But if I made a few more attempts, I think I could do better. And this is diluted orange paint that I'm applying as light rust over some of the chips and dark rust. Ooh, would you just look at that? It's amazing how in real life we try to eliminate rust, but here I am trying to replicate it. Have you ever noticed how when rust is young and fresh, how vibrant and bright it is? But as it ages, it fades. That bright yellow or orange color fades away, as if it becomes discouraged by life or something. Well, if there's any rust listening, just hear me out. I know how you feel. Every time you try to shine bright, somebody or something just try to stop you. That's because they're jealous of you, Mr. Rust. You get to live wherever you want. You get to do whatever you want. You don't pay bills. You get to live on people's cars, boats, and trucks for free. Man, I'm jealous of you too. Just try not to show your face so much, okay? Just try to be humble sometimes. So what you're seeing right here is just some diluted tan paint that I'm applying with a brush to simulate light stains and fades. And that's just some more diluted hand paint that I'm applying on the inside of the chassis rails to make them appear faded and dirty. And now it's time to apply some dirt onto the underside of the frame. Yes, and now it's time for a different shade of dirt applied much heavier. And for that I'm going to use my airbrush. So mix until I don't want to mix anymore. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, this thing works really well for $15. Well, this is more of a dust coat than dirt. It has more gray, which is typical of what you would find on the street. And there you have it. Now, I'm not sure if it looks realistic. I mean, this is my first time weathering a model, but I'm only going to improve from here. I'm going to keep working on myself. I'm going to keep learning, and feel free to share tips and tricks. Now, thanks for watching and stick around for part 12. And yo, remember, love you guys and God bless.